All right, Pisces, thanks for tuning in to your January of 2015 horoscope. My name is Athan. All right, so the emphasis this month is on your 11th house of groups, community-related things, the collective, your sense of freedom, your role in the community, and your ideals. The 11th house, too, in terms of your ideals, what you want to give humanity, what you want humanity to have, innovation, technology, all of these sort of Aquarian type of 11th house things is highlighted for you. Now this starts with Mercury going into that 11th house on the 1st, so I think you're going to be naturally thinking about these things. And he's joining up with Venus, who's already been there since the end of December. So you have been enjoying the groups, the friends, the community type things. And so now with Mercury there, it's going to be thinking about it. How can you improve that area? Because Mercury is going retrograde on the 21st onward, and that's signifying that there's some learning that needs to take place here in terms of the whole 11th house sector for you. So be open to learning those 11th house things, how you can perhaps be more a part of groups, improve, how you can be more of service more is a huge 11th house thing, because whenever we give, we're naturally in flow, because our true self really wants to give. And when we step into that giving and wanting to be a part of the overall shift of humanity, of the collective, naturally that invokes our sense of inspiration. And in this case, it'll invoke a very clear understanding of what your intentions are in terms of what you can give back with that Mercury. So really reflect on that. Reflect on how you can be more of service. Now on the 1st we have Mars opposite Jupiter, so with that 11th house, it's very important this whole month that you balance whatever these ideals and visions and pursuits are, these things you're giving or being a part of, balancing that with what's important to you. It's important to your own self-expression, your own sense of self and pride and esteem. Jupiter's been transiting your 5th house, which has to do with all those things, and it's really your inner child and your playfulness and your joy for life. With Pluto there, you guys have been expanding that area of your life. Lots of opportunities for you to enjoy yourself, to tap into that inner child. Also romance, children, all these other 5th house related things. Lots of expansion there. So very important that you balance these more personal things with these more collective things. Okay, and these personal values with these collective values. So balancing these two is going to be very important, and the way they're balanced is essentially just seeing them as one and the same thing. There's no difference between what's important to you and what's important to others, and when you see that cohesiveness, then there's a natural flow here with these two houses. Now on the 3rd we've got the Sun going over Pluto, which is the last of the fast-moving planets going over Pluto from last month in December. Lots of transformation took place in that 10th house for you, which has to do with work, career, public sector, anything you're doing to be of service to humanity. And now with the Sun going over there, it's seeing how you can step into your power, that you have the ability to really contribute and be of service. It's a big emphasis here, especially with all this activity in your 11th house. And also, do you enjoy your work is a big question this month. It's very important that you're enjoying what you're doing under the surface, in the not only for the material side and the achievements of life, but also on the emotional side and the deep connection you have to your work. We have to enjoy what we're doing. But this can be a time when that shifts, where I think for some of you, maybe some changes that have been taking place there is going to invoke a new sense of inspiration and life force energy around that 10th house. So utilize that, especially for the first half of the month while the Sun is in that 10th house. Continue to shine that light in that sector and create. Use that creative life force energy. Now on the 4th, we've got Mars going into Aquarius, and this is your 12th house. So lots of motivation to do nothing. The 12th house is about taking it easy, relaxing. It's no thingness. So it's good for you to now rest up, rest that motivational energy, But it's not so much do nothing as much as it's you want to focus on making sure you're getting enough rest, enough relaxation, and anything that you are doing this month in terms of productive type stuff or what have you, just make sure there's that presence and flow in what you're doing. That's going to be Mars in that 12th house. I think you're naturally going to have that inclination anyways, and so just go with the flow with that, and you'll find that very enjoyable. Now on the 5th, we've got the full moon in Gemini, which is in your 4th house, so something culminating in terms of your guys' home and family here. Seeing things very clearly, which is very nice. See the abundance that's in the home and family. Also the abundance that's inside. The 4th house is our emotional anchor. It's the inner body and our physical body too. Perhaps some of you feeling very good in terms of your body and your connection to your body. But whatever it is, reflect around the 5th in terms of that, and see the abundance there in your life, and see how you can take that abundance, carry that abundance in with you for this entire month. Very positive there, high point there. Even a high point in terms of whatever you guys may have started in that area 6 months ago. Now from the 10th through the 16th, we've got Pluto squaring up to the North Node. This is setting the backdrop, the overall energy for this month. This has to do with constructive change, constructive movement, a lot like what we had take place last month, except this month it's much more specific. It's much more clear in terms of what we're doing. Now that is the clear and the what is where the North Node is, and that's the North Node's in your 7th house. So this whole year, it's about relationships, building relationships, connecting with others, developing your existing relationships, partnerships, okay? And creating more balance and harmony in your life. So when you approach life in that way, balance and harmony where you're improving these areas, especially since the North Node's in Virgo, you're going to notice there's a lot of flow this year. Okay, so make whatever changes need to be made this month, especially from the 10th to the 16th, to facilitate more of those relationship changes, or not really changes, just more quantity and quality of your relationships, increasing those two things. But overall focusing on relationships, how they can be improved, how you can bring more of them into your life, etc. Very important here for you to focus on relationships for the whole year. Now on the 14th, we've got the Sun going into Capricorn, so this is that 11th house, and now this is where things start to become more illuminated in terms of maybe the collective, community, other-oriented side of things. Lots of creative energy here to utilize that, perhaps working within groups, getting amongst friends, enjoying yourself there for the second half of the month indeed. Now, on the 19th, we've got Venus opposite Jupiter, so some more balancing involving that 5th and the 11th house, self with other, but I think this is going to come very natural by the end of the month because it's involving Venus and Jupiter, which are both benefics here. Very nice, a good synergy between, again, what's important to you, what's important to others, the values, and bringing those two together, perhaps doing some creative projects like I talked about, perhaps bringing others into your own creative projects, or how you can make your creativity more visible, because a lot of you with that Jupiter in that 5th house have been creating, you know, whether it's a new business, a creative project, what have you. There's been a lot of abundance there, so maybe for those of you who have projects, letting it be seen, giving it away, allowing it to be a part of the community in some way. Now on the 19th as well, we've got Uranus conjuncting up to the South Node, so this is releasing some old notions in regarding self. So while all this focus is on, you know, hopefully is on other and how you can develop your relationships, it's letting go of some old ideas about self, not focusing too much this year and this month in terms of your personal goals, your personal ambitions. This is really this whole year is really other oriented, how you can cultivate and develop your relationships, not so much cultivate and develop your own self and your own goals and ambitions. Of course, it's very important for us to have our own goals and ambitions. However, you want to focus on how this can be of service, how you can improve your relationships, and then naturally those goals will be met. But the focus not so much on the 1st house, it's on the 7th. If you focus too much on the 1st house, or even if at all, depending on your personal natal chart, too much, you'll notice that it's just not flowing. So flowing will be when you're focusing on others. Very important there. 19th through the 21st, very important with that particular aspect. Now also on the 19th, we've got Mars conjunct up to Neptune. This is tapping into that flow, that inner peace, especially so because Neptune's been transiting that 12th house. You guys are all spiritualizing, getting more in touch with your spiritual side, And with Mars there, especially going over Neptune, it's releasing, going with the flow, surrendering. And naturally, when you surrender, there will be, surprisingly, motivation and energy there. So very, very good to know, very powerful. Now on the 20th, we got the new moon, and this is taking place in that 11th house. So perhaps this is a new project, whatever it is that's humanitarian, group-related, what have you. This is where things start to really cultivate something new starting here, perhaps a new perspective. But whatever it is, just reflect on this around the 20th in regards to it. And as the month unfolds further and into February, when the lunar cycle fills up, start to put action and energy into cultivating whatever these group, humanitarian, innovative, technology, internet, social media, all these 11th house type of things, whatever it is for you individually. Now on the 21st, like I said, Mercury is going retrograde, so this is in your 11th house, reflecting from the 21st onward in terms of these 11th house matters, very important. Mercury retrograde is not so much what not to do, because it's often talked about things you don't do during Mercury retrograde. It's not like that. Just treat it as a learning experience. Treat your groups, your friends, humanitarian, technology stuff as a learning experience into February, and you'll find that very beneficial and flowing. Because Mercury retrograde doesn't have to be clunky. Things can flow when you're treating it as a learning experience. Now on the 22nd, we've got Venus going into Aquarius, that 12th house of yours. So this is where you're going to really start to enjoy the peace, the presence, the meditation, doing things meditatively for the 22nd onward and into February, and perhaps meeting people through spiritual circles or from meditation. Maybe you're meditating at a park, things like that, where you're tapping into yourself, your inner self, naturally will benefit others. And this is also, without needing to really be expounded on, it's just the fact that when you are taking care of your own spiritual needs, naturally your relationships improve. Now on the 31st, we've got Mars going over Chiron, so this is the last aspect of the month, involving that 12th house. I think any insecurities about your spirituality, your presence, your flow, your ability to have that peace in your life, it's not, it's just Chiron. You already mastered that. You guys already are spiritual masters, very aware of your spirituality. And with Chiron there, it's just suggesting that some final healing will take place in regards to that, perhaps some insecurities being healed, and that's very nice because that's going to lead the way into February for you. All right, so let's go and draw a card, Pisces, and see where, get a little more emphasis from Spirit. Okay, Capricorn. So this is the grounded energy here. And this is, where most of the activity is this month in that 11th house. So with all this activity in the 11th, perhaps this is a reminder to keep things very nice and grounded in terms of whatever these humanitarian group or friend related things that you're working on, because it's very important for you guys. But you guys are naturally very grounded and long-term thinking with that part of your chart anyway. So just keep 2 feet firmly on the ground. Don't lose sight of the big picture. See the big picture. And Capricorn too is very spiritual. You'll notice the sea goat is not only the grounded element, but also the spiritual element, and seeing how we can derive the spiritual meaning and connection to what we're doing on a physical level. We can connect to those things spiritually as well. All right, Pisces, I hope you have a great month. Please get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. You can click the link down below for a YouTube discount, and I'll see you next time. Take care.